This is Victor. He's your average Plano senior high student, just like you and me. But Victor has a problem. He's an obsessive texter, constantly texting while he walks, eats, sleeps, and yes, relieves himself. All this texting could prove to be fatal in Victor's future. He doesn't know what he's getting himself into. Ah, looks like Miss Cawthon finally killed him. Texting, driving, one of the most common and yet dangerous practices of our modern age. It doesn't even seem like it, but texting can be just the distraction it takes to cause an accident.
Whoa, what the you!
It might not always seem like it, but a car driver dialing a cell phone is actually 2.8 times more likely to crash than a non-distracted driver. That's an increase of almost 200%. My team and I investigate local opinions on this phenomenon in our community.
Okay, I'm Linda Brumley, and I am a senior citizen, and I live here in Frisco.
Okay.
I think the safety of having a cell phone is great because it's really been great for young people, like I have granddaughters at your age, or women. Having a cell phone availability is important, but I don't think that trying to do it and drive I think that's become a safety issue because it's with the traffic and living in the city. Our mind is too overtaxed. There's too much going on. We're not paying attention to our driving. Drinking and driving is a real issue. That's a major thing. But I think the cell phone use, now it's not against the law, and it can't ruin your life unless you have an accident like drinking and driving. But it's definitely dangerous. And not only can you harm somebody else's life, you can change your life in a heartbeat. It's a conscious decision, and I'll just use an example of why you don't. I had a son that was in mid-20s, drinking and driving, drinking beer, had an accident, 2 people were killed, and he served 4 years time.
I'm
Exactly.
so sorry.
So not only did he 2 lives lost, and he was a grade A student, ran with the best crowd, was the yuppie group, and he learned real quick life was different. So life can change when you're behind a wheel. You're distracted with this alcohol and texting and driving. You're on a cell phone because you're endangering not your life but everybody around you. So when you're on a highway, in front of a wheel that's going fast speeds, that's where you need to be focused.
Have you ever texted and driven?
I used to when I first started driving, and then kind of stopped because I realized how dangerous it is. Like, how important can that text message be that it has to get there like 5 minutes before you can stop? So you might as well just wait until you stop and text.
I think it's something that's unnecessary because it can be prevented. I'm sure people will be, okay, well, I'm only sending the text of okay or yes or something really short, and they can get it in time while they're sitting at a red light or something like that. Well, things can still happen if you do text or occupy yourself with a cell phone while you're driving and you get away with it the first time, then it'll make you want to do it again and again and again, and it'll just put you in this habit of using your cell phone and making a really serious and dangerous situation seem normal.
That's some pretty stupid shit. I mean, like, your attention really should be on the road. I see plenty of people while they're on the phone or something like that. They'll be swerving back and forth, going in between lanes, and I don't know about you, but I have mad road rage, and I'm not afraid to cuss people out of my car or say derogatory things about their mothers. I don't know, like, you think about it now and, like, you know, you're like, oh, that's not going to happen to me, but, you know, we're 18, we're human, we're not invulnerable. I was out on George Bush, making a left turn onto George Bush, and I was looking for some directions or getting some directions from my sister, and I have my phone in my pocket, and I go to take my phone out of my pocket, and while I was doing that, I wasn't looking, and I actually swerved into my left lane, and I totaled this guy's I didn't total this guy's door, but the door on his sedan is pretty scratched up. What got to me the most was the fact that like both my little cousins, who I are like the closest thing I have to brothers, they were both in the car, and I don't know what I would have done had the accident been worse, had they gotten hurt. I put their lives at stake because of my recklessness, because I decided a phone call was more important than like the lives of my cousins. Like once something like that happens to you, like it really changes your perspective, and you have to try to be more careful.
When it comes to cellular use in the car, I think there is nothing stupider. The only thing stupider would be like backing into your own garage door thinking it's open, which is what I did with my dad's Jaguar one summer. But that's not the point.
Although I have not been involved in anything with cars and texting, one time when I was texting, I actually ran into a telephone pole. So it's a very big distraction, so don't text and drive. And don't walk and text either. It's also dangerous. Don't ride a bike, don't do anything while texting. You can sit and text, or you can stand and text. That's pretty much it. Past that, it's too distracting.
There were 23,059 crashes involving 16 to 19-year-olds in 2008, and 10% resulted from distracted phone use driving, and that number is still rising. A large percentage of people said they know distracted driving is dangerous, but they do it anyway. According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, research reveals that 46% of drivers under 18 admit to texting while driving. After having an average citizen's point of view about this issue, we turn to a more professional opinion about the matter with our own Officer Armour here from Plano Senior High School.
I have seen some silly things while people use their cell phones. Just went home the other day. Guy next to me was driving with his left knee and had both hands up, texting on his phone as I'm passing him. Of course, then I wanted to get by him because I could see, car swerve over to hit mine or something. Bad enough he's in a construction area. Have the concrete barriers up on both sides of the 2 lanes of the road going through McKinney, and that was just crazy. Just crazy. And of course, going through the hallways here and stuff too, I see a lot of times that students get involved with texting, they're not paying attention where they're walking and things, and they'll walk into somebody or something like that. And it's just, if they're going to do that while they're just walking, you can imagine what they do when they're actually driving. Some folks can, actually multitask and do certain things. And then there's some people, that can't multitask and do certain things. Of course, we have the laws in place right now. Anytime that you see the lights flashing out here in the school zone, you're not supposed to be using your cell phone. Well, the lights are not flashing, okay, when they're not flashing, okay? Now you need to also pay attention to those times down there. Because sometimes you can't always count the lights. Just because the lights are not flashing doesn't mean that you can't do it. If the time says you're not in a school zone between these times here, and the light's not flashing, you still can't use it. Okay. Especially when you know that school's probably in session. Now, I do know that some cities, various ones throughout, the Dallas area have got city ordinances in place where they're trying to limit cell phone usage, while you're driving.
Do you
now,
agree
currently,
with that?
Plano does not have that.
Okay.
Currently, Plano does not have that. But there's going to be mishaps at times that just can't be avoided sometimes.
Yeah.
But that's a very, very small percentage, even to the point that that's non-existent. But, people pay attention to what they're doing. Chances are avoid accident.
There are 3,092 deaths in distracted driving cases using a cell phone in the year 2010. Each year, 21% of fatal car crashes involving teenagers between the ages of 16 and 19 were the result of cell phone usage. This result has been expected to grow as much as 4% each year. Clearly, texting and driving is a huge danger to everyone on the road and should be taken very seriously. If we can think carefully before pulling out our phones on the road, it might be the very thing that saves a life, and that life could be your own. gonna have to. I'm sorry. I have really bad road rage. You chose the wrong driver for this.
Victor, nothing illegal though. Come on.
Don't worry. I got this.
Come on, we can't get all this. Oh my God.